Highland Dreams, a Royal Scotsman journey. Before we begin, take a moment to slow down. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it gently. And breathe out through your mouth. Again, slow breath in. Feel the air fill your chest. Now let it go like mist fading from the hills. One more breath, in and out. Let your shoulders drop. You're safe here. You're on your way. I arrived just as the sun dipped behind the rooftops. The sky was soft. The air smelled of stone and distant pine. The Royal Scotsman stood waiting, burgundy and gold, wood polished to a gentle glow. She looked like something from a dream. I stepped aboard. A man smiled at me. Callum, the steward. He handed me a small cup of tea, chamomile and lavender, steam curling in the air. He didn't say much. He didn't need to. My cabin was warm and wooden, brass fixtures, crisp sheets, a window waiting for eyes like mine. I sat and listened. Then the train moved. A low hum, a gentle lurch. The city slipped away. Fields, trees, the shadow of a hill, everything became softer. Dinner came. Callum brought roasted parsnips, tender and sweet, a thick barley stew full of roots and herbs, and a slice of oat tart with berries. It tasted like late summer. I didn't speak much that night. I didn't have to. Later, under a wool blanket, I sat by the window. The stars were hiding, but the sound of the train was enough, soft and steady. I closed my eyes, and somewhere far away, I dreamed of antlers in the mist. I woke before the sun. The world outside was still grey, mountains in the distance, a river winding like a silver thread. The train moved gently beneath me, rocking like a cradle, a quiet rhythm I didn't want to leave. I wrapped a blanket around my shoulders, sat by the window. The glass was cool beneath my fingers. Callum knocked once. He brought breakfast on a small tray, porridge with baked apples, toasted oats and warm spices, a little pot of jam made from blackcurrant. I ate slowly, each bite warm and soft, each flavour familiar yet new. The train climbed higher. We passed forests and open moors, sheep in the fields, smoke rising from chimneys far below. For a long while I said nothing. I didn't read, I didn't write. I just watched. Somewhere deep inside, something loosened, the kind of quiet that only comes when you stop trying to find it. Later that day, we stopped near a vast forest, tall pines, moss-covered ground, air that smelled of rain and needles. A guide met us at the edge of the trees. Her name was Lorna. She smiled with her whole face. She led us through the forest, over roots, past ferns. Each step felt like walking into an old story. She showed us pine resin and tiny lichens. We stopped by a stream. Its water was so clear I could see smooth stones beneath the flow. Lorna handed me a sprig of pine. "Crush it gently," she said. I did. The scent filled my lungs, bright and green and ancient. We stood in silence. No one needed to speak, only the water did. Back on board, lunch was waiting. A thick vegetable broth, warm bread with cracked seeds, a plate of greens with lemon and roasted nuts. The flavours matched the forest, earthy, fresh, full of light. I sat with my journal open, but instead of writing, I watched the trees drift by. Sometimes it's enough just to see. Sometimes it's enough just to be. That evening, the train stopped beside a lodge, a small building covered in ivy. A fire flickered warmly inside. We gathered around the fireplace. An old storyteller sat waiting. He wore a tweed jacket and had kind eyes. He spoke softly about a stag that walked in the mist, a gentle creature who guided lost souls to safety. His voice rose and fell. The fire crackled quietly. We all listened closely. Later, dinner was simple and comforting. Grilled mushrooms with wild garlic, sweet potatoes baked slow and tender, fresh greens with a tangy dressing. Afterwards, I walked outside. The air was cool and stars filled the sky. The story still whispered in my mind. I looked toward the forest. In the moonlight, I thought I saw antlers, just for a moment, and I smiled, knowing the stories were real enough to dream. On our last evening, the train moved softly again. We travelled beside a dark loch, water shimmering beneath stars. I found my way to the observation car. Windows wide and clear, sky and water everywhere I looked. Callum handed me a small glass. Inside, a drink that smelled of honey and smoke. I sipped slowly, letting each taste linger. Warmth spread gently through me. I leaned back, watching the night pass by. Every moment felt slower, richer. My phone lay forgotten in my bag. My notebook rested unopened. Instead, I listened to the quiet hum of the train. Thoughts drifted in and out. Clearer now, softer. A feeling of calm settled in my chest. The loch outside seemed endless. The hills, quiet watchers in the dark. Everything felt just right. I breathed deeply and realized I hadn't felt this way in years. Quiet, whole, and completely here. The next morning, the train headed back to Edinburgh. The sun rose slowly, spreading soft gold across the fields. Breakfast was simple and comforting. Warm toast with berry jam, tea with a hint of spice. I sat quietly by the window. Fields turned into houses. Houses became towns. Soon, the city appeared again. The platform felt familiar, yet different. I stepped off the train slowly. Callum smiled softly, handing me my bag. No words needed, just quiet understanding. Outside, the air was busy again, but I carried the quiet of the hills with me. Inside my pocket, a small pine sprig. In my mind, antlers and mist. I walked away feeling lighter. The journey had ended, but something remained. A calmness that stayed with me, a quiet place to return to whenever I needed it.